I could not get a job because in 1957, industry did not hire women.
They didn't hire women
Women
at all?
professionals. Plenty of women secretaries and file clerks and things like that.
It was the cultural behavior of that time.
At that time. And so I came back to get my master's because I had nothing else to do. And one day, Carrie Cronice, who was the chairman and founder of the department, came to me and said, go to the Shell lab and you're going to be interviewed. And so I went over there, and the man who interviewed me was M. King Hubbard, who is known as the Oracle of Oil.
And what was the job position?
It was to be his assistant. He always had a geologic assistant. And they were only staying 6 months to a year when they'd either quit Shell or ask for a transfer. And so they decided they were going to find someone who would never leave Hubbard, because where would a woman go? And Hubbard, I was his assistant for 6 years, and he retired and went to work for the USGS. I'd had 6 years of, he was a egomaniac, I guess was what you would call him. After Hubbard went away, Leo Farmer invited me to join his group. And then New Farmer retired, and Tatum was brought in from New York and brought down here. And the first day he arrived, he called me in and said he didn't believe in women working and fired me. Just so, yes, that was really.
Well, good morning, everybody. And by good morning, I mean good afternoon. Good afternoon. Welcome to Ellensburg, Washington, USA. Thank you for joining us today, live. We have more than 300 waiting and ready to go. There'll be more that show up.
I'm sorry, Dave. I'm afraid I can't do that.
What's the problem?
I think you know what the problem is just as well as I do.
What are you talking about, Hal?
This mission is too important for me to allow you to jeopardize it.
I don't know what you're talking about, Hal.
I know that you and Frank were planning to disconnect me, and I'm afraid that's something I cannot allow to happen.
Where the hell did you get that idea, Hal?
Dave, although you took very thorough precautions in the pod against my hearing you, I could see your lips move.
All right, Hal. I'll go in through the emergency airlock.
Without your space helmet, Dave, we're going to find that rather difficult.
Hal, I won't argue with you anymore. Open the doors.
Dave, this conversation can serve no purpose anymore. Goodbye.
Hal? 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 Hal?
He threatened me at one point and said, Boris, I don't want to hurt you, but with a missile it would only take a minute or something like that, Johnny.
Real crime that he's committing, which is speaking out loud about the war and being probably the loudest anti-war voice from inside Russia. He has been held in a solitary confinement in a so-called punishment cell for over 3 months, something close to 4 months, in a little tiny cell, 2 by 3 meters. But the Russian prison system and the president's administration, I'm sure Putin himself, came up with this very sickening system of rolling punishments.
This is Execution Watch. Huntsville, Texas, death penalty capital of the Western world, where prison staff is preparing to put Ruiz to death by injecting him with a deliberate drug overdose. During the next hour, KPFT's Execution Watch will air live coverage of the killing in Texas, the state that has carried out a third of U.S. executions.
What sort of choices or thinking would you encourage younger people to have?
Man, just do right, man. Work hard. You know, it might take a little bit longer to have a regular job, and the money might not be as good, but in the end, you get to keep it, because when the feds come, they can't take it, you know, because you got W-2 forms and you can prove, you know, I had jobs in life. There's times that I walked away from the game to try to do right when my sons were born, and but I just got wrapped back up in it. The money, I was, you know, a lot of people are addicted to drugs, and I was addicted to the hustle. I was addicted to the grind. It's like, it's addicting.
When you say you were addicted to the hustle, what do you mean?
To making money, you know. Yeah, I grew up kind of poor. I grew up in, you know, I didn't have a lot of things, and I wanted a lot of things. And I saw my older homeboys, man, they were shining, you know. They had the cars and the jewelry, and I wanted that.
Howl for Carl Solomon. I saw the best minds of my generation destroyed by madness, starving, hysterical, naked, dragging themselves through the Negro streets at dawn looking for an angry fix. Angel-headed hipsters burning for the ancient heavenly connection to the starry dynamo and the machinery of night, who, poverty and tatters and hollow-eyed and high, sat up smoking in the supernatural darkness of cold water flats, floating across the tops of cities, contemplating jazz.
I want to say to the 5 police officers that murdered my son, you also disgraced your own families when you did this. But you know what? I'm going to pray for you and your families.
Hello out there, everybody. We'll wait just another minute or two. I put on early here, put it on early so we can make sure we're all seeing each other.
Okay, I see people are joining. Maybe we'll give them 1 or 2 minutes.
Yes, but there's a bit of an echo.
Is that better?
Much. Thank you.